being out there too makes me wonder where we would have put the line, because we had to statutorily define the lines of where it would exist. So I'd have to go look at that, but.
We probably need to get better questions.
Pretty much everything's north of Michigan Avenue, and then probably across Freeland Road and.
That's the old Walmart too.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah,
extended
that's the
it,
Walmart
we extended
too.
over to get, originally it was extended over because we were gonna use part of that funds to help when Honda came, and then we decided, then that was determined, that's when it was determined they didn't have as much funds as they thought was coming forward. So,
Now, again, I'd have to look statutorily if there's a way for you to invest in an area that's contiguous to your TIF area, if it's going to generate funds in the TIF area. You know what I mean? So to the extent that what you're looking at here is generation of revenue through businesses and restaurants, those things are all going to be within our TIF because that's where all of the businesses are. Mm-hmm. Now you're not going to see a tax increment increase because you're not building a new business, right? So attracting a new business, like, getting a new restaurant or getting a new hotel or those sorts of things would increase your revenue and would probably fit within the purview of the statute.
yeah, I could see that, if you were doing that, as a.
Right, so the intention was, we're investing these funds even though they're currently out, the investment is outside of the TIF area, but its intention is to entice businesses to build in the TIF area that I think you might be able to fit it statutorily. So, the question you need answered from me is, can we legally do this?
Rob, I can't speak for anybody else up here, but I am delighted that you guys are moving forward with this. To see, I'm gonna say that revived again is great.
Yeah, I honestly can't wait to see. The numbers have been down local, like just for our rec leagues. I really want to see this just driving numbers to where the numbers soar. Get back to where they were, 5, 6, 7 years ago, if not better, for earlier than that.
Yeah.
Hopefully it drives a ton of interest. I know it did on the football field, so people come out to watch and they weren't even winning.
Talk about security and stuff on that as far, would the rec league still have access to practice during tournament times, I guess?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So I'll work with the boards on that and how when they do their signups, they always have a schedule set up to when they allow them to practice. So I fully want to work with the boards to let them have access to those diamonds so the teams have practice times, things like that. Typically, once they start season anyway, people shut down. They don't practice. They just go straight to the game. So through the day, with work schedules and stuff like that, with parents, people aren't practicing during the day normally anyway. They just go play games at night. So that's when, once the league games start, it's just game after game out there. So
I'll echo what Ken said too. I have good feelings about this. It just sounds like it comes down to whether we can legally commit to that.
yeah, I think you guys are right. I think I'd have a good feeling about it too. I think it's going to be great for our community.
Thank you for doing this. It's a step in the right direction.
Rob, I know there's different grades of turf.
Right.
Where are we at on that?
The graded turf that we're putting down?
Yeah.
Our graded turf, that's a good question. So the graded turf we got is a 10 to 15 year turf, depending on how you take care of it. So, and it's a rec grade turf. I should know the name of it off the top of my head, but I forget. Obviously they make several different turfs, but it's made for this. And we are filling it with just the sand and rubber infill. It was a $40,000 increase to do with the coconut shell, which isn't as hot. But I figured, we're probably gonna get hot enough a couple times a year, or a couple months out of the year, to even worry about that. So why spend that additional money on that? So we will infill it, and we can gauge that as we get better as managing that turf, is to like the speed of play on it. Obviously we don't want as much infill. The more you put on it, the faster that younger groups, when we have those turf, we're gonna keep that down so there's more grass play, just so the ball don't fire off at it as quick.
Well, this is getting the cart way in front of the horse.
Yeah.
Do you envision that you generate enough revenue that in 10 or 15 years, when you need to replace this, that it will be self-sustaining?
That's part of what I wanna do, is to make sure every dollar that's generated by there for rental and for concession, that we allocate enough back to budget so we can replace that turf within the next 12 to 15, 18 years hopefully. Some of that stuff out there is 18, 20 years old that they have out there. It's still in play, right, that they put in. It's the same grade of stuff that we're gonna be putting in now. Actually, probably better, because it's not 15 years ago, right, 18 years ago. So, yeah, fully anticipate, manage it right. We wanna have an account set aside specifically, whatever comes into that complex is going back out to maintain it through the years. And then obviously budgeting it enough to replace the turf with a 12, 15 year time frame probably. Hopefully we get that much out of it, that longevity. So, good question.
Any questions? Otherwise, thank you for your time.
Thank you all very much, appreciate it.
Thank you, Rob.
Move on to our next agenda item, which is the approval of claims. You guys looked over this. We have a claim for Stephen Legal Group for $105. Judy Curve, Secretary Services, $60, or Greensburg Water Wastewater, $3.78. And then the two big ones is some of our bond payments, the Huntington Bank bond for $55,131.28, and the First Financial for $259,873.70. Total $315,173.76. Any questions on the claims? I have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion's been approved and seconded. Can, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same side. Motion carries. That is the last item on the agenda. The next regularly scheduled meeting is Thursday, February 6th, here at 7 p.m. Any other questions from the board? Audience? Hearing none. Motion to adjourn.
So be it.
Second. Adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah, I'll get better at this.
Robert's rules and music.
I don't have, what happened to the gavel?
Congratulations.
Yeah, I don't know.